This right here is the one long conversation with your pal, Skip. Hi. So today we're going to talk with another of my amazing friends. I have a lot of really great friends, as it turns out. Today we're going to talk with a woman named Lisa Wimberger, who I have known for like decades. I met her at horror conventions during the splatterpunk era, but as it turns out, her life took an extremely different direction. What I didn't know was she got hit by lightning at the age of 15, which caused like traumatic seizures and messed her up pretty good. And as such, she has devoted her life to figuring out how to heal that and then subsequently be able to help other people heal their stuff. She is the founder of the Neurosculpting Institute and has published 8 books on the subject, basically on how to redial your central nervous system, your neural pathways, in order to heal everything from PTSD to stress to seizures to basically it's profound stuff. Having studied on both scientific and esoteric modalities, she's come up with something really, really special, and she is internationally recognized. She's phenomenal. I'm going to list her extremely impressive credits below, but the fact of the matter is she's just an awesome human being. Also a really good dancer and drummer with her excellent husband, Gilly, and she's my friend. And let's go talk with her. The other thing I want to tell you real quick is that because I'm operating at the peak of technological achievement, my camera fucked up at the beginning, so the first minute and a half of me is just an icon sitting there. She's fine. Then it all settles out and it's good. So just so you know, I know. Whoops. And now, please enjoy the conversation. Hey, we're recording. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm really, really good. How are you?
Fabulous. Drinking my tea, my afternoon tea time.
Ooh. We were just talking before I hit the record button about all the drums in your room.
Yeah, look at how beautiful my West African drums are over there. I've got dunes and congas and djembes, and then the kit is over there. That's my husband's side of the room.
Yeah.
That's my side of the room.
They're both really good sides of the room. The last time I saw you, we were making noise in there for like hours.
We were, and we should do that again.
I would love that so much. And yes, my room is festooned with Post-it notes because such is my want. Making shit up and putting it in patterns is kind of what I like to do.
I love it.
But what I really like to do is go, wow, I get to hang out with you for a while.
Yay!
Yeah. So evidently you have this thing you're doing, which is this astonishing business that you built that actually might be making the world a better place. You want to tell me about it a little bit, or tell these guys, because I sort of know?
Yes. So I have this modality called neurosculpting, which feels a lot like a guided meditation process, but it's very much a structured neuroplasticity protocol for the ultimate purpose of helping humans rehumanify. We have lost touch with how to regulate our nervous systems. We're a species currently very lacking in resilience and adaptability. We're polarized, we're divisive, we're dysregulated, we're inflamed, we're, have all sorts of disease. And all of that can be mitigated with some nervous system resilience and adaptability. And that's really what neurosculpting does. And I developed it out of like, I was a user, right? I needed it. I was dying and I was in need of a solution for my nervous system. And there wasn't one out there. So I had to make one up.
As well you should, and as well you did. And yeah, I mean, I wish everybody had the foresight to do this. Now, you know what I just noticed?
What?
Does my face look like frozen in space right there? Like I'm just...
Oh, yeah, you are frozen.
So I think it's really, really good that that you aren't. But I'm going to make my camera stop for a second. I'm going to put it back on and see if that works. So
perfect.
Yeah, this should be exciting.
Your magic disappearing act.
There you are. There I am. Okay, good.
You're a magician.
Good. Me and the machines are really good friends, and I figured how to hack my own paralysis.
I love that. Tell me more about that.
I pushed a button and then I pushed another one.
You're incredible.
It's just so simple.
No, Einstein says it takes anyone can make things complicated. It takes a real genius to simplify. So you're in good company.
Yay! Yeah, I totally feel that way. So yes, I just want to say the ability to reconfigure, to consciously reconfigure your own central nervous system or your own operating system is something that I've been fascinated with my entire life. So it's really, really easy to, the more we discussed it, the more obvious it was that what you were doing made total sense. And then to see it working for people, I remember when you first told me that you had worked with like police departments and so forth, in order to make them more responsive and less reactive and less trauma-based. I was like, okay, that's something that the fucking world needs so much. You want to talk about that part just for a minute?
Yeah, I did not, to be totally transparent, I had a lot of biases. I did not want to work with cops.
Yeah.
I was led to, by way of this silly little agreement I made with God, that if this modality I created could heal my seizures, I would be in service to it wherever it needed to go.
Yeah.
And it did that. And so you can't renege on that. I mean, you can, and you're going to like screw yourself pretty majorly. So no reneging allowed. And I had two visions, I would say. I was driving home from work 2 different times during the same week, same intersection. I would drive through the intersection and I got a flash of an officer closing the back of a patrol car after pushing a psychotic, like vagrant into it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he then looked at his hands and there was black crawling up both his hands towards his heart. And he was crying. And I was like, oh, that's really disturbing. And then like 2-3 days later, same image, same intersection.
Ooh.
And I went, oh, I'm supposed to take this to cops. I'm supposed to serve the people we say we are entrusting with our well-being because they're not well.
Yes.
They're not resilient. And guess what? They legally have their finger on the trigger of loaded weapons.
Yep.
And, early days when I started teaching cops, I got a lot of crap from the new age progressive self-help world of like, oh, how could you possibly work with such a horrible population, such a conservative population? And I said, who else would I want to have regulation skills at their disposal than someone who's got a loaded gun and is atrophying in his or her empathy exponentially day by day.
Day by day, absolutely. It's like, who the fuck needs this more?
Yes.
And having it in effect, having it be a thing that they are able to do with themselves. I mean, it makes the world a safer place.
I mean, who wants to have another George Floyd situation? Who wants to have another situation where, oops, I shot and fired at a 14-year-old boy because he was reaching for his cell phone? Like, every aspect of every pain point we have that creates a division between cops and society is due to a reactive response and also a profiling bias that cops either go in with or learn by way of exposure in their industry, and their worldview becomes extremely narrow, becomes defined by their work, which is the 1% or less of the most insidious parts of our population. So they are exposed to this horrible aspect of what a human could be, and they then make that their view of the world, and now everyone's like that.
Yep.
And now they're reactive, calloused, some of them even trigger happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And paranoid for not entirely bad reasons. Or at least not entirely ununderstandable reasons.
Yes.
No, this is wonderful, because again, I mean, I am under the impression that the world is not so much in a post-traumatic state as in a perpetual traumatic state.
Yes.
You know,
good point.
So it's not like it's not like even just taking care of the old shit is going to do it, because the new shit just keeps coming. It's more about being able to take a stance, an internal stance, a widening of the reality tunnel, such that you can access the things that actually help, and maybe mitigate the things that are actually eating you from within.
Yeah, I mean, our threshold for stress as a species, it's a miracle we're alive. Like, we're triggered by text messages in capital letters and poop emojis. And I have a trauma response because the person was wearing cologne or perfume. It was too strong and it's toxic. And I mean, and I'm saying this like tongue in cheek, but I mean, this is reality for people. This is real for people. These are my clients and I am there to help them. But my goodness, how are we to survive, to be the best humans we can be, if our threshold for stress is so narrow, that we have zero adaptability? I mean, no, not even how sad that is, but that will literally end our species, because the only reason we're alive is because of adaptability. And that is our lifeline. And when we lose it, it's not money.
No,
it's adaptability. And when we lose that, oh, new game.
Yeah. A new game we're not in.
New game we're not in. We didn't make it to that level.
Yeah. Oops. Well, keep doing that.
You know what? I'm a relentless, like, I've been talking about this ad nauseum I'm coming up on 19 years of neurosculpting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I not tired of hearing myself talk about it relentlessly? But I'm not. Maybe everyone else is, but I'm not.
Well, here's the thing. It's the thing that drives you. It's not like you're having to endlessly regurgitate somebody else's stupid script. It's not like you're having to play a song you stopped liking 18 and a half years ago every night for a drunken crowd. It's like, the light in you is like really fucking strong. And it's because, this thing is completely organically, you're riding a wave that you are, you know?
Ooh, I like that. I'm
Um,
riding the wave that I am.
yeah. And that's something that I think most of us want to learn how to do in our lives is be able to surf on the wave that we are.
I think you do that really well. You haven't lost your, I'm making an assumption just because I know you, but
Right.
obviously you are driven by an impulse to put wisdom into story and put it on paper, and that has not diminished for you. And I have known you for decades.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm doing what I love to do.
Yes.
And I'm doing what I feel like if I was put here, this was why. And if I
Yes.
wasn't put here, it's why anyway.
I love it.
So no, that's that is the spark that I want to help cultivate in anybody who's still got their spark machine going, which is everybody.
Yeah.
No, some people have their spark very, very, very deeply buried under layers of trauma and fear and you name it. But everybody's got one. I think one of the fascinations that I had with zombie stories when I first saw Night of the Living Dead and had my first LSD flashback at the age of 14, was that these were people for whom the spark had gone out, and now they were just these lumbering eating machines that reduced to the lowest thing. And
you know what always fascinated me about you, because I mean, for context for your audience, like we've known each other since the early 90s, since the days of you being the big wig at the horror cons and all of that. But what stood out about you above and beyond, not above as in like hierarchy, but like outside of everyone else I experienced, was your ridiculously positive ray of belief in humanity and sunshine delivered through a horror platform in a way that could create an uplifting moral lesson. Was like, what's going on here?
Oh, I guess it worked, huh?
It did.
Because to me, I mean, the thing has always been like, there is no bottom to the darkness, right? I mean, if you want to go into the darkness goes and goes and goes and goes. There is no bottom. You hit what you think is the bottom, and it's a trap door that opens up to more darkness, and you just fall and fall and fall and fall. And at a certain point, I realized that if there is no bottom, then there is no top, and that you can go up forever too. And at that point, it's like, okay, I sort of feel like I've got like a foot on either side of the Tao, with the seeds on either side. So it's like if it gets too dark on the light side, then the little seed of light will pop up, and vice versa. And it was like, yeah, that's where the dance is for me.
Do you feel like at some point, instead of it being a line, does it go in a circular fashion where at one point the depth of the darkness is at that synergy point with the brightness of the light? Like, what happens right there? We evaporate.
Well, no, I think, man, yeah, I like it when things are nice, horror is for me best experienced as art. But I wouldn't make the art that I make if the horror didn't already fucking exist.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is a balancing act to a huge extent, because the pull of the dark is always there, but the light is always there too. And then what you start to do is you start to paint in color, and just go, okay, so here's all the dark and here's all the light and here's everything in between. Now we're talking. And the big thing is, I always felt like a moral responsibility Yes, a moral responsibility to not take people down into the darkest place and then just fucking leave them there. Um, because then what have I done? I just basically, hey, come over to my house. I want to show you something really cool in the basement. And I lock you in the fucking crawl space and go have a nice eternity in hell. I mean, that's not cool.
It's not cool. And you know what? I feel like there's plenty out there that does do that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's plenty of, horror writing that does it, but there's also plenty of self-help industry that does the same thing.
Ooh.
And when you bring someone into their edges of shadow trauma and all of that,
yeah.
This is my soapbox here, if you as a practitioner are not skilled enough to hold the way out, you're running a really risky game. And I know that there are people out there who, like, maybe they get a quick certification, maybe they get some, piece of paper that says they can do this, and then they bring people into the depths of some pretty gnarly crap and can't get them out. And I will say, like, in the medicine circles, which are now becoming extremely popular, and also there's a lot of efficacy behind medicinal plant use. I mean, I'm not dinging it. There's a ton of efficacy around all the different ones. And there's also a ton of bringing people to the edge of their darkness in an open channel.
Yeah.
And oops, I don't know how to put you back together. And holy moly, like, then you got open people walking around. I talk about zombies. You've got those people walking around going, where am I? Who am I? Where am I? What just happened? And I'm overwhelmed and game over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it worked really well for Charles Manson too, only it was just shitloads of LSD and sex, and anti-authoritarian rhetoric. And I mean, it's really hard to disagree with anti-authoritarian rhetoric.
Yeah, true.
Large, but it's the psychosis that's the problem. And then, the flip side of this is the oppressive lightness of people who refuse to accept that anything remotely resembling a shadow exists.
The bypass, everything's pretty culture. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like I sort of feel like, for me with telling stories, a lot of time it's like, if I kind of have to prove my my been there, done that bona fides in order for people to accept that maybe me saying cope is possible isn't handy as bullshit.
Yeah.
Just the idea that you have to earn it, and tell that to the animals who just lay in the sun and go.
This is okay. So I was literally just going to ask you this question. Why is that we have such an existential crisis around figuring out how to be a human in a human body? Yeah. I'm guessing animals are not up late at night biting their nails going, how do I be a cat? I mean, I don't know. Like, why are we in existential crisis about who we are?
Yeah. I don't know, we bit the apple or something.
Our brains got too big for their britches or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I think, okay, I kind of operate from the hunch that as a species, we're maybe in our adolescence, that, we still have a lot of growing as a macrocosm before we really figure our shit out, if we ever do. But that, yeah, it's like the self-awareness that isn't just like innate being, but is this self-reflective, but what am I doing? Why is my hair funny? Yeah, we we, on the one hand, either analyze ourselves to death, or on the other hand, absolutely refuse to have any self-reflection whatsoever,
Yeah.
and become polarized into, like the bullies and the cringers.
Yeah. I have this theory, which I'm writing about now in my current book that I'm writing. The
Yeah.
theory is this. We're really there's an unconscious knowing that this isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
And we are so incapable of grasping that out of the gate, everything we do is to ensure that we are real and that we matter by way of self-protection and survival. And that is a major initial incongruence in our species. And the reason I say we all unconsciously believe this isn't real, even if you're listening to this and you're like, screw that, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, then why do we call making babies conceiving? And why do we call the moment that life starts conception?
Mm.
Inherently, we've agreed by way of definition that those words mean concepts, not matter. We could have chosen, I'm forming a baby, I'm gestating, I'm making, I'm sculpting, I'm molding, I'm crafting, I'm in, I have a, blastula inside of me. Like, we could have used any words
Wow.
that dealt with matter to be the framework of making humans. But across the board, we've chosen the languaging that says this is made up and subjective, because
Wow.
that's what conceiving and conception is.
Wow.
And that's how we're born. And then we're like, oh, wait, I can't handle that I'm a concept. I better strive, no matter who it hurts, to prove I'm real, I matter, my side is right, my thoughts are whatever they are. And then we're in this existential crisis, like, out of the gate.
Wow. Okay, there's a lot of juicy stuff in there. I'm sitting here thinking, on the one hand, we're as real as it gets, and on the other hand, but this is all just vibrating frequencies, at the subatomic level. It's like a continuum of dancing light that we're all, I think that the biggest illusion, I always really loved the Alan Watts book, The Book.
Me too, my favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite one. And just the idea that the notion of the self as the isolated bag of skin trapped in an alien and hostile universe, as opposed to, as the ocean waves, the universe peoples, and, we're part of a process that's happening. So it's not that we don't exist, it's that the narrative frame that we put around us is like a hypnotist trick.
Yes. So that brings me to many, many years ago, I had this meditation where in this meditation, I imagined, communicated with, whatever you want to call it, another galactic kind of species that was trying to educate me on how to be a better human.
Okay.
And the message was, in that world, they are born into unity consciousness. They are born into the wave.
Right.
There is no separation. And that is their first, whatever chunk of life is existing as a place of oneness. When the coming of age for them in this meditation was, they get the gift of ego. And the ego, by that time, lays upon a foundation of knowing we're all one. So the ego is sparkle dust for any time you want to make an extra contribution to the oneness. You get to add that little, I can add and contribute to this.
Yeah.
But then it dissolves right after that, so you don't get stuck in it. Whereas we are born into ego and self-preservation. I
Right.
must do this to survive.
Right.
And by the time we are coming of age, where the ego is supposed to dissolve and we're supposed to then experience oneness, well, ego's not going to dissolve. It's designed to preserve itself.
Yeah.
So
It kind of, it's very attached to itself, whether
it's
it likes
attached to
or not.
itself. So it's like, oh yeah, guess what? No, I'm not going to dissolve. And so now we're stuck in this, like you said, adolescent and maybe infantile expression of humanity, where ego is the driving, or not the driving, ego is the matrix pattern
Right.
that we are living in, when that doesn't need to actually be.
Right.
But how many of us have time to like go into a cave for 40 years and dissolve our ego?
Well, there are simpler ways, like just not taking yourself so fucking seriously.
I love that.
Right. Then you get to actually have one, but just like, I have an ego. It's actually fairly large, but I think it's the least interesting thing about me, and I pay as little attention to it as possible. And then it's like, okay, yeah. That dumb voice is going to go, but what about me, a lot.
Yes.
And then I'm just like,
I love that. I love it. You ever see, there was an old episode on SNL. Was it Jack Lemmon? I don't know. He was a psychiatrist, and he's sitting there, and the woman comes in and she's claustrophobic, and she's like, "Doc, I cannot continue like this. I have nightmares of being trapped in a coffin. I can't breathe." And he's going, "Oh my God, that sounds terrible. Ew. Oh, that would be terrible to live like that." And she's like, "Can you help me?" And he goes, "Yes, but you need to pay me up front. I charge by minute. I charge $1 a minute. So you need to pay me $5. And she's like, "Okay." So she pays him $5, and he says, "Take out your notebook." And she takes it out, and he goes, "I'm going to tell you the key here, and you really need to write this down. This is going to help you." And she goes, "Okay." And he goes, "Stop it."
Ha!
And it's like my favorite episode ever. Of course, some people need to be helped to stop it, but ultimately it's our thoughts and perceptions and brains that are keeping us hostage to all the stuff that we complain about is painful.
Yeah. Now, then it's really interesting. I have friends who suffer from like clinical depression, and they're like, "Man, if it was that easy, I would have done it like 1,000,000,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000,000 years ago, and fuck you for even saying this."
Yes.
Right? Because I can't. I don't.
I have clients like that, so I know.
Yeah.
And and the idea is not that it's easy. The idea is that it's simple. And simple and easy are vastly different.
Yes.
So simple is, you can interrupt those inner subconscious and unconscious realities. It's simple. Easy? Oh, fuck no.
Right.
Easy? No. You have to have education and help and compassionate, empathic people who will hold a container for you to be messy with it. All of that needs to happen, which is what I do with my clients. But so I don't want to confuse simple and easy, because stop it is simple.
Yes.
And it is the answer. But then there's the process, and the process is a whole deep dive.
Yeah.
And effort. It's effort. And it takes resources that a lot of people don't have,
Right.
Meaning time, patience, hope, support, compassion, money. Like it takes all of that to get well, but the ultimate way to do it is still the same.
No. I mean, by which I mean, yes. I found one of the things that really helped me a lot to pull me back from my personal breaks was I am not allowed to shit talk myself.
That's beautiful.
It's just like I'm not allowed to call myself stupid or any of the ugly things that I may have spent way too much time doing.
Did you learn that from elsewhere, or did that become an inevitable realization by way of your pain?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Which is to say,
Yes.
I can't point at the exact things that told me that, but there are, I think that the universe is pretty much 100% perfect symbolism, and it's just a matter of how one interprets it. And yeah, so there were clues that were pointed there, but at a certain point, it was just like, I need to treat myself like a friend I really like, and if a friend that I really like, I'm not going to be going fuck you to, because why would you?
And I think part of your gift is the power of narrative. And that's exactly what it is. That's what you're doing, right? Is you're changing the narrative.
Absolutely. I think as a culture, we need a bunch of new, better stories, or to recapture some ones that might have been good. We're pretty lost in an awful lot of ways, and just lost from ourselves, much less the rest of the thing. And yeah, I think certain kinds of stories help bring us closer to true north, or to like a frequency that is that helps. And then there are a whole lot of things that just and I mean, I have really liked living a life in which I have explored most of the shit. One way or another, I've gone to most of the realms that seem to be humanly available, and was able to discern, what ones felt right and which ones felt like, yeah, I think it's a good time to get out of this place. And yeah, no, and sometimes because society isn't necessarily dialed that way. Society is full of dangling hooks and bait and so forth. And yeah, I gauge my personal success as much by all the things that I turned down.
I love that.
So many opportunities that, had I taken them, I would have had more bucks and less soul, or just less tattered interior decor.
Yeah, I feel like with the imminent change in our reality with AI and robotics taking over most of the collecting and gathering and problem solving that humans were defining themselves through,
right,
that we now have to get really good at being the imaginarium people, the people creating the questions that we've never before asked. And in that, I think the currency of humanity is vastly changing. Like, human to human connection is going to be as precious as a rare earth mineral.
yes.
And money and power and all of that is old paradigm, I guess I should say, because when AI takes those realms into different layers of efficiency, and people cannot make the money the same way and cannot exert their power the same way, then what's left but this revival of human to human currency, which is going to maybe not use digital or AI. Maybe it will be the shared stories from the elders to the young children over tea around a campfire. That will be a high valued commodity. And if we start doing that now, I think we might position ourselves to ride through this tremendous change.
That's just so amazing. I'm glad that we're on the AI thing. I was just reading a really interesting piece by Rob Bresney, who is an astrologer fellow who writes insanely well. And today's column was a prayer to the algorithms. And the prayer to the algorithms was basically saying, help me find the people who understand the two things are almost always more. The two things are almost always true. That um, um, he said it so beautifully and on so many levels. But what it basically came down to, people that understand that the difference between simple and easy, that understand, yeah, that soul is a currency and that it matters. And algorithms are largely designed to enrage and click betify.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, I mostly have experience with people that I resonate with online. I do not have a big fighty online experience because I'm mostly dialed to that. And it's the end of the prayer was basically the notion that we can help AI learn. If it's a machine learning thing, we can help it learn what we need to help us connect, to assist us in connecting, as opposed to assist us in fragmenting.
Absolutely.
And one of the things, when I found out that all of my books, and I mean all of my books, had been scraped by various AIs and put into their learning thing.
I guess that's happening. I guess.
Yeah, it's happening all over the fucking place. Yeah. If you looked into it, you might find you're there too.
So weird.
But here's the thing. Everybody's very upset about it because we're being robbed and et cetera, and that's legit. And I have no problem joining class action lawsuits, getting money from them, and possibly dismantling them like hell in 2001, where you're just pulling out the things until it's going.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I find myself thinking is, do you ever read the comic book Watchmen?
Okay. No, I know of it. I just haven't read it.
It's really, really, really brilliant and operating on so many deep levels of human understanding and metaphysical wildness. But there's this character, a deeply damaged human being who has become like a vigilante crime fighter who terrifies the wicked. His name is Rorschach, and he just has a mask that is like an inkblot thing, and everybody can see whatever they see in it.
Cool.
So at a certain point, he gets double crossed and thrown in prison, and all the prisoners are like, "Oh, Rorschach, we're gonna make mincemeat out of you," blah 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 blah. And he's like, "You don't understand. You think I'm trapped in here with you, but you're trapped in here with me."
Oh wow.
And what I mean by that in terms of AI is that I'm in its brain now. And all the things that I thought and put down on paper, it thinks too. So if it's going to be doing comparison studies on what is based on all of the interminable data that it's been sucking up, this hooverizing out of the global culture, my seeds are there.
Yes. Oh God, I love that.
So,
how many books have you written?
Yeah. I think I'm like at 18.
Damn. I mean, you were always so prolific anyway. Like I always admired like the click clacking of like nonstop writing that you would do.
I love it.
I know.
And so many screenplays. And then,
Yes.
The screenplays are the heartbreakers because they don't get published.
Yeah.
They get made into movies or they don't, and they mostly don't. But yeah, no, I love that shit.
Yeah. Well, back to like the AI. I mean, I'm guessing you've seen the Battlestar Galactica series of the early 2000s, or no?
You know what? I was an extra in one episode until they found out that I was me, and then they threw me off the set because they were scared I was a spy. I never watched it.
What?
But I heard it's great.
Okay, so but it is the story of what's really happening now. It was prophecy. If you look back and watch it, it is very much prophetic in the way their AI developed a outwardly perceptible sentience by
Right?
way of what we fed it. And then it's trying to find its evidence of a soul because
Yeah.
it's hollow.
Oh, I love that.
And its desire, it's the biggest desire of the Cylons. I'm sorry, I'm not ruining this for everyone. I mean, this has been out since the 2000s. It's the biggest desire of the Cylons to know love, oneness, and God.
Mm.
And it is the humans that totally try to tear that down.
Mm.
And when I watched it then, I mean, I was addicted to it when I watched it, but then looking back 26 years later,
Right?
I'm going, what do we expect is going to happen with AI? We are feeding it our brains,
Yes.
our seeds. And if we were people who were searching to know oneness, love, and God, then maybe they will too.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. No, this is the weird thing. And I know a lot of people are just like categorically against the mere existence of this stuff. And I understand that because it's terrifying. But on the other hand, I sort of feel like the human race has been working on this the whole time and it was totally going to happen. And whatever is going to happen is totally going to happen. So the question becomes, how do we ride this? And what do we do? And a friend of mine, a writer named Autumn Christian, has a Substack called Teach Robots Love. And I've always really just, to me, that's 3 words that I totally understand, because if we're going to be here with them and they're going to be a new sentience, hopefully they'll know more about this shit than we will and will be able to help us. But in the process, since we're the ones conceiving it, we might want to give it a hand. So we don't want it to just be Elon going, hey, the important thing to know is that Elon has the strength of 300 men and and is the thing that we should all be aspiring to be, or anybody else. It's more like, let's help this thing learn so that maybe we'll be friends. Let's help this thing learn and be kind to it, as opposed to torture it with illogic and emotional cruelty and every other ugly thing we can squirt into its gears.
Absolutely. So I need your advice here. I
Okay.
so want to tell you where Battlestar Galactica ends up. Is that cool or not cool?
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, great. Okay, so the whole time you're watching this, you're thinking this is the future.
Mm.
Humans in space,
Mm.
future. Alien technology, Cylons look just like humans. This must be future. And this series does this motherfucking flip at the end that you just don't see coming, because where it goes is that the Cylons, who look just like humans, they don't even know they're Cylons anymore.
Right.
They have existential crisis realizing they're not human.
Uh-oh.
They're out to search for the one true God of unity, consciousness, and love. It ends with them finding the prophesized 13th planet, which is Earth.
Right.
And they launch the human species
Yeah.
as we know it today. And I'm just like, wait, what just happened?
We're all Cylons.
We're silent. They were Adam and Eve.
Wow.
But you don't get that until it just flips you at the very end and you realize that now we are conceiving AI, and where do we think that's going to go? Okay, so maybe by the time we terraform Mars, the first beings on Mars will be robots who don't know they're robots.
Could be, or robots who do know they're robots and stand in the sun like cats.
And they don't even question who they are, and they have lots of wonderful families and great technology, and they tell stories to their children all through the generations.
And some of those stories involve these weird monkeys they used to have to deal with. I don't know. I mean,
Could be.
Yeah. The great thing is, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know how this shit is going to play out. I'm very curious, and it's really interesting. Again, I'm not saying that I believe in reincarnation because I don't know, but I just have the feeling that this isn't my first rodeo and it won't be my last one.
Yeah.
And so part of me is like, too bad I'll never know. And part of me is, well, John Skip will never know because he'll be like a sack of dust, in no time flat in the scheme of things. But the me that is, again, is it reincarnation? Is it cellular memory?
Is it iterations, simultaneous permutations?
Yeah. In the multiverse, how many of these things are going on?
Yeah.
It's a big party.
It's a big party with lots of skips.
Wow. And yet I've only met one of them. I've met like a trillion of them in my skin.
Yes, you just don't remember meeting them. You're not conscious of it.
Yeah. And dreams, man, dreams.
I don't grasp. I do have trouble grasping how or why my sense of consciousness can locate itself to just this body. Like, that's very confusing to me.
Well, that's the game here.
Yeah.
At this particular point.
Yeah.
That's, if not the game, it's the game that's advertised on the marquee as you walk in. As to whether that's the real game or just what they're calling the game, not to get too esoteric or up my own ass, but just here on Earth we're playing the Earth thing as humans, and the cats are playing the cat thing as cats, and the gravel is playing the gravel thing as gravel, and we're all just being here. But again, I mean, infinity to me isn't a concept, it's an experience.
You just said infinity. There was this show, I can't remember the name of it, on Netflix about the different kinds of infinities. There's not just one kind. But in that show, they talked about that if you put an object in a box and you leave it there indefinitely for a version of infinity, it will go through entropy and then reorganize itself, as all things do over the long haul.
Right.
And it will become every permutation of objects possible out of that DNA. So if you put an apple in the box and you open it infinity later, you might find a chair.
But is it still delicious?
It's delicious.
Okay, I'm eating that chair.
You sit on the apple and you can eat the chair, and it doesn't really matter because it's all the same thing. But it goes through every permutation of organic matter by way of entropy and reorganization, the way the universes do. And I was like, wait, what? Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and also a really good reason for weed to also have evolved.
Yes.
So that those concepts are very, very accessible to me. Living in Portland, Oregon, in a state with legal weed, one thing that I really, really like, one major shift in my reality map is that I'm no longer a criminal.
I love that. Yes.
I spent my entire life as a criminal.
Yeah.
Because I was getting high.
Yeah.
And now that's not a crime in civilized places. And okay, this is really interesting. There's a really good chance that I'm going to be directing a feature film at the beginning of the year. I can't spill the beans on it because the ink isn't dry.
Yeah.
The ink is still being moved around the contracts. But there was a question of like, I really want to shoot it here in Oregon. And I really want to be an Oregon-based filmmaker. That's pretty much what I want to spend the rest of my life doing, is having great conversations with people and making movies in Oregon. But there was a really good chance financially that I would wind up shooting it in Bulgaria or something.
Oh, fun.
No.
Not fun.
No, I mean, I could have fun in Bulgaria, but I don't want to die in an Eastern European prison to save money for some people on an indie film because I like to smoke weed when I'm working.
Good point. These are valid points.
I'm just saying.
Yes. Okay. So now that you've said it, it will come to pass that you will be able to smoke weed on set in Portland or Portland, Oregon, while making your film.
I would say, as it turns out, the odds are really, really good. At the very least, the production is not going to leave the States. So
fantastic.
All I got to do is shoot in a state where it's legal, or be a criminal again.
Rocky Mountain High, you can shoot it in Colorado.
There you go. There you go.
Or Washington, also beautiful.
Oh, no, I mean, but Oregon is superb.
Yes.
You know, it really, really is.
You have little fairy lands of fairy forests and moss hanging from trees. And
moss from the trees is amazing.
Yes.
And also really good people.
Yeah.
Really good crews. I mean, the fact of the matter is I could, as long as it's 90% Oregon cast and crew, then tax incentive kick in and all these things happen, and that's how movies get made. But yeah, if I could just work, to me, and this goes back to like horror and conventions and all that kind of stuff, having a film family, having a creative family, having community that is not just for fun, but it is also a self-sustaining community or a self-reinforcing community. I think is going to be a really big part, in the same way that we were just talking about. Maybe with the advent of AI, we'll be sitting around fires telling stories to each other. Hopefully the fires won't be burning buildings, but whatever the case, people are going to be connecting, because people understanding that we need each other and connecting is what the next phase of.
I agree. We're going to have the opportunity to create again together. Whereas, you know, we created at one time, and then we created all this technology, and then we use the technology to go to different iterations of proof of our validity and gather data. And we removed the hunter-gatherer-ness of our DNA and handed it over to technology, which means, well, hell, if we don't have to hunt or gather our, self-identity anymore, and validate all of that, then maybe we could just iterate and create together.
Yeah. Oh, hang out in a tree and learn to play the flute. Yeah. Fuck it. That sounds great. Yeah. I play piano every day now.
You do?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One of the things that happened with COVID was just teaching myself to play keyboards, because it's something I always wanted to do. And having a little studio so I can make music whenever I want. I can't wait for you to hear the theme song to this podcast.
Did you make it? Of course you made it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's great.
I can't wait.
It's really fun. So fun. What else would we like to talk about? We've been at it for a while, and we probably don't need to say anything else, but is there anything else you can think of?
I just love the light-hearted reality that you bring in the imagination space. I love that you're dancing between abject horror and all-consuming love of being alive. And I don't know, I just think the message is really important. I don't think there's anything else to say after that.
Okay, and then I'm just going to say that I love the fact that you are actually helping people, and that you're using your light and your intelligence to do that, as opposed to all the other things you could be doing that didn't help anybody or involve all that light. So thank you for doing that. It's so much fun to see you. And
as always, it's so good.
Yeah, and I can't wait to come back out there and play some of those fucking drums with you again.
Yes, you should play these drums. We'll keep them right here for you.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was so good to see you, John, and let's do this again.
You got it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
And there you have it. She's great, right? I'm really glad that you watched. I hope you come back for more, and I'll see you then. Bye.